It was a warm evening on July 6, 2021 in central Amsterdam, when 5 rounds shattered the usual hum of the city. Peter R. de Vries, the fearless journalist known for taking on the most dangerous criminals, was the target of a hit. The streets were thrown into chaos as people screamed and ran, while others froze in shock. Behind this brutal hit was Ridouan Taghi, the notorious drug lord, who orchestrated this to silence the media and send a chilling message. This was no random act of violence. It was a calculated move in Taghi's campaign to control the narrative. But what exactly happened? Taghi was born to a poor family in the city of Beni Salman, Morocco. His story begins in the 1980s when he came with his parents, his older brother and 2 sisters, to the Netherlands, Vianen. Growing up, he didn't have an easy life. He lived in a rough neighborhood where crime was a common way to survive. By his teenage years, Taghi was already getting into trouble with the law, involved in petty theft and street fights. But it didn't take long for him to realize that small-time crime wasn't going to get him far. By the early 2000s, Taghi had made his way into the Dutch underworld with dangerous plans. He had ambitions. Taghi started building his empire by establishing connections with South American drug cartels. He saw an opportunity in the booming coke trade and grabbed it with both hands. By 2009, he was no longer just a small-time player. He was the head of a powerful drug cartel. His operations were slick and ruthless, smuggling vast quantities of coke into Europe, primarily through the ports of Rotterdam and Antwerp. Taghi's rise wasn't without chaos and violence, though. He was known for his brutal methods, eliminating anyone who posed a threat to his empire. This included not just rival gang members, but also anyone who dared to speak out against him. As his power grew, so did his network. By the mid-2010s, Taghi had expanded his operations beyond drugs. His cartel was involved in money laundering, illegal arms trading, and even human trafficking. He'd built an empire that stretched across Europe and into parts of Africa and South America. Taghi was known to use a combination of bribery and intimidation to maintain control, and it worked. He had politicians, law enforcement officers, and even some members of the judiciary in his pocket. The people he couldn't buy with money were silenced with threats. One of the most chilling aspects of Taghi's reign was his willingness to use extreme violence to silence his critics. This became glaringly evident with a hit on Peter R. de Vries. De Vries, a renowned journalist, had been vocal about Taghi's criminal activities and even had become an official confidant to Nabil B., a key witness in a major case against Taghi. De Vries was famous for working on unsolved crimes in the Netherlands. It is then no wonder that he crossed Taghi's path in this pursuit of justice and truth. On July 6, 2021, Taghi's ruthlessness hit a new low. De Vries was hit in broad daylight on a busy street in Amsterdam. The gunman, Delano Geerman, fired 5 shots, hitting De Vries in the head. It was a brazen attack meant to send a message that no one was safe from Taghi's reach. And why would he do such a thing? Well, to silence the Dutch media. It was around 7:30 p.m, a typical summer evening in Amsterdam, when everything changed in a heartbeat. The bustling streets near the Langer Leidserswaagstraat were filled with people, enjoying the lively atmosphere of central Amsterdam. But amidst the crowd, a chilling plot was unfolding. Peter R. de Vries, the renowned journalist known for his fearless pursuit of justice, had just finished a segment at the RTL Boulevard studio. Wearing a light tan suit, he stepped out into the narrow commercial street. The area was busy, with diners at outdoor cafes and pedestrians making their way home. De Vries, engrossed in his phone, walked towards the parking garage where he'd left his car. Unknown to him, a man with a dark beard and a tattooed neck was waiting nearby. This man was Delano Geerman, a 21-year-old Dutchman, handpicked for this deadly mission. As De Vries approached the garage, Geerman sprang into action. Without warning, 5 short, sharp pops pierced the evening air. In an instant, De Vries fell to the ground, a trickle of red running down the side of his face. The street, which moments before had been filled with the sounds of everyday life, was now a scene of horror. A cell phone video taken by a bystander just seconds after the attack captured the aftermath. De Vries lay motionless, his arms initially crossed loosely over his stomach, then falling limply to his side as his life ebbed away. Panic erupted. People screamed and scattered, while others rushed to help. Within minutes, the police had arrived, closing off the area with barriers and tape. An ambulance whisked De Vries away to a nearby hospital, where he was immediately taken into critical care. News of the shooting spread like wildfire across the city and beyond. Peter Elbesser, a reporter from ANP and an old friend of De Vries, raced to the scene on his bicycle, only to find chaos and confusion. The investigation into De Vries' assassination moved swiftly and decisively. Within an hour of the shooting, police had tracked down and apprehended the two main suspects, Delano Gierman and Camille E. Delano Gierman, the 21-year-old Dutch gunman, and his 35-year-old Polish accomplice, Camille E., were arrested about 30 miles outside Amsterdam. Their capture was the result of intense police work, which included sifting through eyewitness accounts, surveillance footage, and tips from the public. The suspects were found with a cache of evidence that left no doubt about their involvement. Among the items recovered were the weapons used in the shooting, a modified handgun and a machine gun, along with damning communication records. The messages exchanged between Gierman, Camille E., and their handler painted a chilling picture. They revealed not only the meticulous planning that went into the hit, but also the cold-blooded nature of the crime. One message from their handler instructed them to get this dog. If you do it right, you may get extra money, referring to De Vries. These messages included video clips of the suspects testing their weapons, clearly showing their intent and preparation. Their arrest was nothing short of a drama. After the shooting, the panic in their communication was palpable. The handler, realizing the gravity of the situation, frantically sent instructions to Gierman and Camille E. They were told to burn the getaway car, destroy their clothing, and get rid of the license plates and the hit weapon. However, the plan quickly fell apart. The handler texted, "I'm going to fix the car in a minute," but it was too late. The net was closing in, and the suspects were already on the run with nowhere to hide. As the police closed in, Gierman and Camille E. received increasingly desperate messages. One particularly frantic message instructed them to break the Google Pixel phone they used for communication and swallow the SIM card. The handler even suggested that they load the submachine gun hidden in the trunk, a clear indication of their willingness to escalate the violence. But the suspects, realizing the futility of their situation, did not follow through. The arrest of Gierman and Camille E. was a significant breakthrough in the case, but it also highlighted the sheer audacity and ruthlessness of the criminals involved. After their arrests, the police found money and ammunition during house searches in various locations linked to the suspects, further connected them to a larger network of organized crime. It was clear that this was not just an isolated act of violence, but part of a broader, more sinister operation. The communication evidence provided a detailed account of the planning and execution of the hit. It showed the level of control and influence the handler had over the suspects and the extent to which they were willing to go to carry out the mission. The panic and chaos in their messages after the shooting underscored their realization that they were in over their heads, yet they continued to follow orders until their capture. The swift arrests and the wealth of evidence gathered not only brought the immediate perpetrators to justice, but also opened up new avenues of investigation into the criminal networks operating in the Netherlands. The detailed messages, videos, and weapons recovered provided invaluable insights into the operations of these networks, helping law enforcement to build a stronger case against the real culprits. Taghi's name came up almost immediately after the shooting. He was already a key figure in numerous criminal investigations, known for his ruthless tactics and vast drug empire. The connection to the De Vries death was not just speculation, it was backed by solid testimonies and evidence. Key witnesses and informants pointed directly to Taghi as the one who ordered the hit. One such informant, referred to as Eddie, provided chilling details about how the plan was set in motion. Eddie revealed that Taghi's network had been looking for someone to eliminate De Vries because of his involvement with Nabil B., a key witness against Taghi in a major criminal case. The messages exchanged between the suspects and their handler further implicated Taghi. These communications were explicit about the orders to kill De Vries and the reward promised for carrying out the operation. The precision and coordination in these messages left little doubt that a highly organized entity was behind the attack, and all signs pointed to Taghi's criminal empire. This brings us to the Marengo trial, one of the most significant criminal trials in Dutch history, with Ridouan Taghi at its center. This trial involved multiple defendants, all linked to a series of violent crimes orchestrated by Taghi's organization. The trial had been going on way before the hit on De Vries. In fact, Peter R. de Vries played a crucial role in this trial as a confidant to Nabil B., the Crown witness. Nabil B. had turned against his former associates, providing detailed testimonies that exposed the inner workings of Taghi's operations. De Vries' involvement in the Marengo trial was a brave move that, unfortunately, put him directly in the crosshairs of Taghi's retribution. By supporting Nabil B., De Vries became an even greater threat to Taghi, leading to the decision to silence him permanently. The implications of the Marengo trial on Dutch organised crime were profound. It exposed the sheer scale of Taghi's operations and the brutal efficiency with which he conducted his criminal activities. The trial also highlighted the risks faced by those who chose to stand up against such powerful criminal entities. The death of Peter R. de Vries was a stark reminder of these risks and served to galvanise public opinion and law enforcement efforts against organised crime. The evidence against Taghi, combined with the testimonies from the Marengo trials, painted a damning picture of a man who would stop at nothing to protect his interests. The Dutch authorities, driven by the need to uphold justice and protect their citizens, intensified their efforts to dismantle Taghi's network and bring all those involved to justice. After 6 years of proceedings, Taghi was finally convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment on February 27, 2024, which concluded the Marengo trial. What are your thoughts on Taghi's story? Let us know in the comments below. If you like our content, don't forget to check out the channel. We've got many more stories from the underworld to share with you. See you in the next one.